Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Benny Muki, a YouTuber based in Bangui, Northwest Region, Cameroon. I film about faith, marriage, lifestyle and agriculture. So in today's video, we'll be talking about the pros and the cons of living with in-laws, as in living in an in-law's house, be it a mother-in-law, father-in-law, living with in-laws. So a little bit of my story. I've been married for 4 years now, and I've been living with my mother-in-law. My father-in-law is of late. I've been living with my mother-in-law for quite some time, and it's been going on well. It's been going on very well. So normally I'll not encourage living separately from your husband, but there are some cases, extreme cases, where due to the request of money or studies, he has to leave the family and go for further studies. And also in cases where I've seen cases where a man comes from abroad, comes and gets married to a lady here, especially in Cameroon, and he has to go back to prepare her papers for her to join him back wherever he is, be it in Germany, the US, or in the UK. So she has to stay back. She has to stay probably with her parents or with her parents-in-law. I've seen so many girls, so many couples do that. And back to what I was saying, we don't encourage husband and wife living separately, but those extreme cases, because they have to. When God created the earth, he made man. After he made man, he made Eve, and Adam and Eve were together. Those are the first couples. Those are our role models. Really, not our role models. They are our first. These are the first human beings in the world. So, like I was saying, many people do not encourage husband living separately from wife for several reasons. One, the distance between them can cause, those are distractions that one cannot underlook. And then when it comes to parenting too, the father and the mother need to be together to better parent the children, be it spiritually, emotionally and financially. So even my pastor, my mentor, he doesn't encourage me living separately with my husband. But then there's some cases that you cannot really, you just have to stay apart from each other for some time. But there's always a plan for you to come back together with your spouse, to stay together. And so I've put this in two categories. The first category, there's a man who marries his wife, and the wife, both of them, they have to stay in their in-laws house. Now I've seen this with Miles Monroe. I was reading his book, How to Overcome Crisis. He said the first 4 years of his life, of his marriage life, himself and his wife and their first child were staying with his mother-in-law. That's the wife's mother. And then there's another category. The husband has to go for further studies or for work or for anything in a different town or in a different country, and the wife has to stay. So me personally, I had to stay back, and I decided to come and stay with my mom-in-law. Firstly, she stays alone, so I decided to bring the kids for us to stay. That's my decision, because I also heard like a family friend was complaining about her daughter-in-law whose husband is abroad, that why can she not come and stay with her to save money for rent. I'm like, no, it's supposed to be her choice. So just to put this out there, it's my decision to come and stay with my mom-in-law, and she's very lovely. With the cons of staying with mother-in-law or father-in-law. So the first point would be the wife's mistakes are easily seen. It's vice versa. The mother-in-law or the father-in-law's mistakes too are easily seen, and in that case, respect will have to be intentional. Now let me explain. You know, when you're far from somebody, admire somebody from a distance, it's difficult for, and when you start going close to that person, you start seeing the negative side of that person, and you have, at that point, you need to be intentional about respecting that person. Yeah, so that's the first point. Their mistakes or their weaknesses are easily seen, and it takes a lot of intentionality for that respect to be maintained. And the second point would be limit to what, oh, I just did that, let me go and clean my hands. uh, the second point would be, there's always a limit to what you can do and what you cannot do in the house. For example, let's say if you wanted to bring your friends over for a sleepover. That's the best example I can use. You know, no, this is not your house. You have to maintain some boundaries. You can't go out and come back late, because you know that's not your house. I'm sure I made sense. So actually, that's a I'm saying it as a con, but it's actually a pro in another way, because it will help you, it will keep you in check. Yeah, I can say that. So those are the two cons that I have. And then the first pro will be, you know, there's living together, and the Bible says how beautiful it is for God's children to live together. There's living together. That's from Psalms 133. There's living together. There's fellowship, and the Bible also says, one shall chase 1,000, two 10,000. When you're together with your mom-in-law or any other family member, that togetherness is very pleasing in the eyes of God. And how beautiful it is, you know. Just imagine a mother praying for the children, and the mother-in-law praying for the children. That's one shall chase 1,000, just the mother chasing 1,000. But the mother and the mother-in-law, you know what? I'm actually narrowing this discussion to my case, because it's me and it's my mother-in-law only. But I know it will be different from somebody that has a mother-in-law and a father-in-law. So just understand, I'm actually just using my case and illustrating it. So back to what I was saying. Imagine Timothy was brought up by his mom and his mother and his mom and his grandmother, and he turned out excellent. So imagine a mother and a grandmother praying for their grandchildren. I mean, what more can we ask for? So there's that togetherness, and it's quite beautiful in the eyes of God. And then the second point is, it really breaks the barrier of, you know, my mother-in-law is a witch, my daughter-in-law is very stingy with my son's money, doesn't want to share, all those kind of things. It really breaks the barrier. I mean, it takes their relationship to another level. There's a friendship. Just, you know how siblings grow up together, and they're bound to be close because they grew up together. They shared food, they shared most of their things, they discussed at home. So me staying with my mom-in-law for this long has really brought us together. Always do morning devotions in the morning, every morning, after we've had our individual devotions. I mean, the level of friendship is quite different. We're really close, really very close. So yes, the second point was, it breaks the barrier, it brings them very close. It's really like the first point. And then the third point is, it helps the newly wedded couple save money. For my case, my husband and I, the money would have been spending on, you know, paying rent for me and the children. Now we're saving it. We're staying at my mother-in-law's place, so we're saving that money. And then the money would have spent on paying for a nanny. We're saving that money. You know, my mom-in-law, she's acting. I'm not calling her a nanny, oh, but she's helping us raise our children. So yeah, it helps save money. And then the next point will be, there's another good point, not another benefit, not for the husband and the wife, but for the parents. It has been proven that parents who spend more time with their grandchildren, they live longer. So I think mama has to pay me for bringing her grandchildren over. She has to pay me because she's going to live longer than the normal time. So she has to pay me. But that's just an aside. It's God. God is the author and the finisher of life. He gives a life and he can take it whenever he wants to. But you know, it has just been proven that grandparents who spend, because they play with them, grandchildren make them more active. So yeah, those are all the points I have, and I really want us to talk about this. Let's share, let's connect in the comment section. Give me your ideas. What do you think about it? Let's share. I want us to get interactive. And with that, we've come to the end of this video. Do not forget to like, to share, and to subscribe, and be ready for more videos. Bye.